Hi everyone. I was reading this incredible part from A Course in Miracles. And when you apply these thoughts, right, something happens within your mind. That shift that takes place from conflictual, perceptual, worldly thinking to uh, peace, to love, to light, to freedom, right? Your mind frees itself up because you're starting to think with the universe as opposed to using the thinking of the world to guide you. And listen to these lines because they're in every aspect the opposite of the thinking of the world, right? You're being asked to think differently, right? Because the way you think now is the cause of all your problems. So listen to these lines and let them find a place among your thoughts. In other words, accept them, practice them, all right? Carry them with you throughout the day in the forefront of your mind and reach to them when something happens to you that somehow needs healing within your mind, right? Which is all the time. Listen to this because it is absolutely incredible. It says this: nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving because nothing is beyond you. Sometimes reading one line in the Course in Miracles is more powerful than thinking you need to read a whole chapter or a whole section because every line, right, is every thought is designed to bring about that shift. And accepting one thought can be way more useful than trying to read a whole chapter or a whole section without fundamentally accepting what it says. It says that nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving. Now, notice that that's the opposite of the thinking of the world because you do believe that something beyond yourself can make you fearful of loving, right? Notice that that really brings about a change in thinking if you're willing to accept what it says. And he says the reason that that is so is because nothing is beyond you, right? There's nothing outside of you, right? That it's only your thoughts that affect you. So whatever happens to you today as you go about your business, keep that with you because what? When something happens to you, someone does or says something to you, or there's a certain circumstance that upsets you or does not upset you, doesn't really matter, right? Remember that nothing beyond yourself can make you fearful or loving, right? They're amazing lines. Now listen to this. Time and eternity are both in your mind and will conflict until you perceive time solely as a means to regain eternity, right? You seem to have lost the awareness of eternity. Now, time and eternity do conflict because they're opposite ideas, right? If time is real, then eternity cannot be real, and vice versa, right? They're conflicting ideas, they're opposing ideas. Both cannot be true. I know that's the way that the world wants you to reconcile, right? Wants to make you compromise. Of course, they can be real. We're in time here, but eternity is somewhere else. No, no, only one of them is true. However, the conflict disappears if you see that time can be used in a different manner. It can be used to regain eternity. And then there is no conflict because you've accepted a single purpose of awakening. And now everything is being retranslated for you in that new purpose. I hope that makes sense because truly that's it. When you're practicing a course in miracles, when you are undergoing your awakening, when you are undergoing your spiritual transformation, really what you do is accept a single purpose. And in that singular purpose, everything that you've made to how shall we say it, anything you made to separate yourself from truth, from your source, will be retranslated and used for that one purpose. And now it no longer conflicts with truth, it's being used on behalf of truth. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind, um, that everything now takes on that new purpose because it will, what? It has the meaning that you've given it, right? Till now, the purpose was to verify that your own concept of yourself was real. It isn't. Now it's being retranslated to that new purpose. Now listen to this. You cannot do this as long as you believe that anything happening to you is caused by factors outside yourself. What? Nothing is happening to you by factors outside yourself, right? You're doing it to yourself. right? One of the core ideas of this Course in Miracles. Everything that happens to you is caused by you, right? You're affected only by your own thoughts, right? There are many, many ways to express it, but nothing is beyond you, right? That's what it's going to say, right? You must learn that time is solely at your disposal and that nothing in the world can take this responsibility from you, right? You're going to have to accept complete responsibility for your dream, correct? So again, right? These thoughts are the opposite of the thinking of the world. If you can accept those, if you're willing to accept those, because it is just a willingness, right? Something incredible will happen with you, right? Your mind will open up, light will pour in. You'll feel free, you'll feel at rest, you'll feel loving, right? As opposed to how you feel when you follow the thinking of the world. Okay. Now, here's another part that's absolutely right in line with that, and one of the key ideas of A Course in Miracles. And it's this. It says, the secret of salvation is but this, that you're doing this unto yourself. That's what we just said, right? You're the cause of it. No matter what the form of the attack, this is still true. Now, that's a hard one because you may be willing to forgive certain forms of attack, but other forms you absolutely are not willing. You can't possibly be the cause of this. No, it's all inclusive. There are no exceptions to this, correct? No matter what the form of the attack, this still is true. Whoever takes the role of enemy and of attacker, still is this the truth, right? That includes that one person that you're not willing to forgive. He's included with this. Whatever seems to be the cause, listen to this, of any pain and suffering you feel, no exceptions, this is still true. See how inclusive this teaching is, but also how easy it is, because there are no exceptions to the rule, right? This applies to everything. These thoughts apply to everything and everyone and everything included in it. For you would not react at all to figures in the dream that you knew you were dreaming. This is true. If you actually knew that this was a dream, you wouldn't be reacting to it, right? Let them be as hateful and as vicious as they may, they could have no effect on you. What? Unless you fail to recognize it is your dream. This is your awakening, right? That full awareness and responsibility that you're the dreamer of the dream. One more line. This single lesson learned will set you free from suffering, whatever form it takes. Whatever form it takes. No matter what form your suffering takes, that lesson will set you free. Right? And again, notice that it just really requires acceptance on your part. That's all it really requires. This doesn't require years of contemplation and meditation and hard learn. No, just acceptance. Right here, right now. The Holy Spirit will repeat this one inclusive lesson of deliverance until it has been learned. What? Regardless of the form of suffering that brings you pain. I love that. The form doesn't matter. It's the content, right? It will reappear in another form, in another form, in another form. So your entire what you call your human life, your sojourn in space-time, right, is nothing but a single lesson taking different forms, and you learning that the response to all of them should be the same. I'm the cause of this, right? I'm the cause of this, and I can see this differently. Forgive, and I will see this differently. There are many, many ways to express this, correct? What an incredible lesson you're given. What an incredible lesson you're willing to learn in your awakening, correct? It's inclusive. That's why it's easy, right? You're not asked to make exceptions to the rule. These apply to every situation and everyone and everything contained in it. What an idea. I love you. Have a great, great day wherever, whenever you are. And I'll see you everywhere.